So this video we're going to go through actually setting up from on your WordPress website. We've installed onto the domain, so you need like cPanel or SiteGround's got a different one, or Plesk, basically to install WordPress onto your domain. So if you've got that, we're going to go into here as well, and this is what normally web developers do. But if you're starting it yourself, buying your own domain, buying the cPanel hosting, then you're going to come to this page. So this is the software that we've installed it. So we've got the WordPress application. So we're going to click on this, and it's going to take us to log into this. Now, this is the way that I suggest to people if you are managing your own cPanel, because you get the updates if something's going to expire or something with the hosting. You go in and check it every time you go and log into your website. You can just log into your website through WordPress and log in straight that way. That's just the way that I prefer to do it. Okay, so what we're going to go on to, we're going to have a look at the difference between some of the pages. Now, if you we've got the Elementor homepage at the moment. Problem is with using these page builders is it tends to be a bit labor intensive. You can see that you've got the fly in and all this sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do is, if you just go onto Google Page Speed, okay, so just type on that page speed insights, okay, and we're going to look at that page that I've just loaded out, which is the home page. We're going to put that in, and we're going to see how fast that page runs. Looks good, but we want to actually make sure that it loads quickly, and you can see that it does it on mobile and does it on a desktop there as well. Okay, got it. Just get rid of that. Okay, so it's going through and diagnosing it there as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go back to the pages for a sec. Okay, so you can see that we've got this one here, whereas I look at that, that's not done with the page builder. So you can see that that's just a basic one, and you can see that it does have some photos and all this sort of stuff. Probably doesn't look that great. If you want to know how it looks on a mobile, what you do, it's a simple matter of just going bang like that, and that'll give you a bit of an idea whether or not it's going to push to a mobile. You see how the text is all moved over. Most of them should do that, and the standard WordPress theme builder, if I go into editing the page, you can see that we can have a look at that, and it's like the block editor, so it's telling me that there's some stuff there as well. So this one here is edited with Elementor, so you can see that this is a lot simpler there as well. Okay, so if we go back to this, all right, so you can see that the page is actually running quite good. Even though I'm using the theme builder, we've got mobile performance at 87%, desktop at 96%. Now, that's going to come down to the fact that if I go to this one here, okay, so you can see that there's a low-res image up the top there. It is blackened out, but that's a good trick with low-res images because sometimes they look a bit washed out. I've got text here, I've got stuff like this, but I've also got, it does what's called lazy loading. So it only loads, see how it loads when you scroll down? So you can see that that's a difference between the two pages, more coming soon. So what I'm going to do with this page is I'm actually going to use one of the other full-on built templates. This is basically built with Elementor, just with the custom blocks. So when I go in and I just show you with Elementor, so you can get some quite good page speeds, like 96 performance on a desktop. That's a pretty quick page if it is running that way. So it's not like there's some of them that you can do that are quite technical, and yes, it might look beautiful, but 87% on a mobile page is pretty good. If you use the standard editor and this sort of stuff, okay, so we've got the Elementor editor here. So no, don't want to upgrade. Just going to, I need to get rid of that little advertising there. Okay, so let's go back. No, get rid of that. All right, so I'm going to go down, and I'm just going to show you if I'm going to add in, let's add in, okay, one of these. Let's insert a page like this. See, at the moment, I've just used this basic wireframe, inserted that in, and that's how I've got the good page speed. So a lot of people say they don't want to use the page builders because it slows up your website. Yes, that's true if you're using something like this. Okay, so when we go into this one, we've got all these flyaways, we've got these images, everything's got lines. It's like a PowerPoint presentation. I said that, you know, doing these things, this is already in the stock standard template. So all you have to do with this one is actually make the text and then go through and add in the pictures, and you're done. So that's the quickest way to do it, but that's going to be a slower page speed, okay? So that might answer a few questions people were talking about. They don't want to use Elementor because it slows the page down. Yes, that is correct, and all of the themes that look beautiful and all that sort of thing that are pre-built, but you can actually build them from the wireframe, which makes them more suitable for mobile. It is a bit more work, and it comes down to the fact, how important is it for your website to be fast? We're talking about between it loading really fast and very freaking fast. Okay, so it comes down to the thing that your customers want. Most of your customers are going to come from social media onto your and view your web page on a mobile. But the thing is with the mobile phones is it actually remembers when it went there last time. So the next time that it goes, it basically loads instantaneously because it only loads that first frame or above the fold when they go back to it again, and then it downloads the rest of it there as well. So there's some little tricks like that people say they're worried about. Page speeds not being pages not being functional, but not being beautiful and not being attractive and all this sort of stuff. It's an intern level task to make them both functional and attractive and appealing and all this sort of stuff, even on a mobile phone these days. And don't forget that when you're using Elementor too, you can actually check out how it is actually going to look on the mobile, and you can just go through and it'll show you there as well. Okay, how it's going to format it, reformat, so you can see that the size of the photos changed and all this sort of thing. So when I go back to the full screen, okay, you can see how it is, and it's not true full screen at the moment because I've got this open, but when I go like that, you can see that's how it's going to appear on the full screen when I do there as well. Okay, so brief run through with how to use the page builders, that sort of stuff. I've got another video which is about an hour long that takes you through and shows you how to use all the features and adjust the templates and put up the pages and all this sort of stuff. Okay, so this video is just about how you can actually do yourself the page speed and all this sort of thing. So don't worry about building it. And there's also other plugins that you can get that you can use the pretty page builders, but when it's on a mobile phone or if you share it on social media, you can get a plugin that strips out all of the expensive code, all of the stuff that slows it down, and it just basically got more like this sort of page build when they see it on the mobile phone. So that's probably a second option, but there's no need to go down that track now with Elementor, which is the one that I suggest because it already does that for you in a lot of cases here too.